Good morning, folks. Welcome aboard another day building EV. Well, despite the fact that I'm on EV, you will see Tilly there in a number of shots in this video because this has been a little bit in the making. It's me putting in my incinerating toilet, which is now done. But this is me doing that, and I'll come back to you at the end. The toilets themselves are quite heavy as starting points, but anyway, there is a tab going around the top of this box, but it didn't seem to want to pull, so I just used a knife and took it out. And well, so this is my first sort of exploration as to what it looks like and seeing what the U-bend looks like. And there is a large instruction booklet, goes through installation process and so on. It's got a European plug on it, that's handy. So initially then I was just sort of having a look to see how it was all going to fit, and it's quite tall. My feet are off the floor really when I'm sat on it, but you know, small price to pay for not having to have a pump out or a cassette toilet or anything else to mess around with. This is me putting some silicone grease on there just to make it easier to get in. And then I'm looking at the right angle at the bottom there and thinking that it's actually quite long, and maybe I can get away with it being shorter to take the toilet further back into the corner. And because I'm at a slight angle as well, and I want to sort of achieve a number of different things with the angles and so on. So just a bit of poking around and what have you. I put it on a piece of cardboard just so that I could move it around a bit more easily, slide it without sort of dragging it, if you see what I mean. So this is me trying to, well, I was trying to let you see what was going on in the corner. I'm, as I say, I'm trying to sort of achieve an angle coming into the boat a bit, as well as the 90 degrees up towards the roof. And this is the angle I decided I wanted. You can see that I've taped it and so on so that I can try and get the angle right. And I realized that I was taping at the edge of where it was going to go into the toilet rather than the bit that was going to be inside the toilet as well. So I made a mistake to begin with cutting the wrong side of the tape, or just started to cut the wrong side of the tape. But there we go, that got it right. So you can see I've moved about an inch away, and to be fair then I might be able to lose that inch later, but at this point then I have still left it on, even though then I have now finished the installation. So and then I'm just feathering the edge a little so that I don't rip the rubber as it goes into the toilet. And there's me just making sure and seeing how much I've got inside the rubber, and so I have still got a decent seal. That you see that socket is a bit annoying, but we'll come back to that later. And here I am trying to figure out what the right way of doing, where to put the air inlet. The air inlet needs to be at least 250 mil above the surface of the water, or at least the mechanical fix for it. I'm just going with straight in, so the bottom of the inlet is more than 250 mil above the water. I have seen other people do things where they sort of curve it up and then down, so that it's the lowest point that's subject to mechanical fix that is what matters, so I'm told. But do look that up for yourself if you're so inclined. And I've measured from relative to the window inside and things, and so now I'm trying to transfer that to the outside before I figure out where this hole goes, because there's a rubbing strake there, and I don't want to go through the rubbing strake obviously, because the skin fitting won't sit properly if I do that. But then I realized that I have skin fittings already in the boat that go from the inside to the outside, and the sink and those ones are the ones for the basin, and so I could measure relative to where those were and see where they were coming out. You can see I'm measuring next to the kitchen window, so I think I've got a good handle on where this where the skin fitting is going to come out. And here I am getting ready to bravely drill the hole. Now this is a mag drill. The mag drill, if you've been following along, then this is the same mag drill that I was using to correct my mistakes with the fair leads, the broken drill bits. In fact, it was lent to me for this purpose, and the fair leads were a bonus. I don't know what that cover was doing on it. I think it might be to hold a lubrication thing, but anyway, so this is actually my first time of using this device, and it worked quite well. I've got a rope up there to hold it just in case the magnet did fail, and then here I am putting the hole saw in, and I'm just keeping on and just gently, perhaps not gently enough, because that's right, I've broken that hole saw. It was a relatively cheap one, and so it didn't have the sort of the two tags on the arbor. It was just literally the hole saw was just screwed onto the arbor. So buy cheap, buy twice. So that meant waiting for a new hole saw to arrive, because even the tool place up the road didn't have one. But I was able to get on with figuring out how to attach the fan to the inlet side of things. So here I am voiding my warranty. Don't try this at home, folks. Just have been filing off the so this is just for a cable, and I put it in with a little gland around the outside, so that should stop it from chafing at all. I have decided that I could hook this 12-volt fan into their system. They have a 12-volt fan that also runs on the outlet side of things. So whilst this is definitely voiding my warranty, I have considered how many amps or points of amps I am adding to their system. It is trivial, and there is no way on earth that what I'm doing is going to break the system, if you see what I mean. But there is something about running combustion chambers under positive pressure or negative pressure and stuff. But here the hole saw has arrived a couple of days later, and so I'm able to get on with it again. And I realised that I was probably dropping a reasonable amount of metal into the river, so decided that I could do with without doing that. So you can see how much I'm collecting on this board. This is grease that I'm using on this occasion, and I'm trying to go a bit slower in terms of the pushing it inness, but it went in like a nicely butter, really. I went in to check inside, and it all seemed well, and a bit of filing just to make it what it should be. Bit of red oxide. I don't think you'll see me put I put some silver hammerite on after that. This is the skin fitting nut. As you can see, it's huge, and I have an F-wrench that is almost big enough. I decided that if I put another little slot into the F-wrench, then I could make it fit, and that would be ideal. So then in with the silicone, and here we go in with the nut, and look, oh yeah, that's right, I can't get the F-wrench anywhere near it, but I was able to tighten it up using well, I used a Jubilee clip and a couple of long straight things, just to turn the nut relative to the skin fitting. I'm not sure that it was the best thing to do, but it was the only thing I could figure out how to do. It's pretty tight. It's not as tight as a tight thing in Tightland, but it doesn't need to be, really. It's certainly tight, not going anywhere. And now I'm able to start lining up the pipe. And this was a method that was given to me by Alan, who works in the yard here. He said, stick a bit of wood in the end of the pipe that's the same diameter as the pipe, and then you'll be able to mark off that where it's going. And as you'll see in a minute, it works really well. This is a genius idea. I had to kind of feather the edge off the board to make it just right. It's a really nice light interference fit. I put a bit of wood across the top of the roof, scored a line across, cut that, so now it's even an angle. And so it meant that I was really able to work out well where this was going to go, and just cut off a bit of the insulation in the ceiling there. And knowing that here I am trying to work out where it's going to be relative to the gutter. So I'm I'm going to make a collet for it. Well, I say I'm going to make a collet. I'm going to shape the pieces, and Alan's going to weld them together for me. So working out where it could go, I want it as near to the edge as possible, because I'm trying to clear the solar panels that aren't there yet, but obviously not in the gutter. And here I am trying to transfer this angle and what have you, the locate to the actual piece of stainless. This is a piece of stainless steel tube. There's a stainless steel ring, 2 stainless steel tubes, weld them together, and so it's my job to cut them at the right angle and give them to Alan to weld them. And well, I ended up not actually transferring it, but measuring where the top was going to be and where the bottom was going to be, if you see what I mean, and then drawing a line on the tube between them. So then I'm just using an angle grinder. I'm just using a cutting disc, and that's going through it. No worries at all. This trying to see whether I can get it in the right place and what have you. That's not quite flat. The roof isn't. Well, no surprise there. It should be a curve. It is a curve. Trying to then figure out what the outside one is going to look like. It's a very slim little slither I'm putting in there. I think less is more, because end of the day, then you can take more material off, you can't add it back on. Trying to get this right was trying to get the angle right was a bit awkward, but you'll see in a minute that I added a here I am trying to bend the collet, or the disc, whatever. I don't know what we call it. I'm just using a flappy disc there to round off, or to take off the edges, sharp edges, and then I'm using the flappy disc to take off more material, because I haven't got it right. I just kept on going and offering it up. You can't. I've cut out the bits where I keep on walking away, but this is one. It wasn't quite right. I carried on going, and then here I am. I couldn't do this with the mag drill, because this is too big a hole. This is a 110mm hole. Maybe it's 111. Can't remember. Anyway, it's too big. But using this DeWalt drill, then I have actually got this arbor stuck in the chuck. Other people have suggested that I cut through the arbor and to get the chuck. Well, the chuck's dead, so I'm thinking that I might cut through the chuck with an angle grinder disc. Any ideas? Very welcome. Here I am just trying to line up where that is going to go on the outside, and I've got a big enough hole to get the pipe inside to the plate, to the flange, and getting it so that it looks like it'll line up and what have you. And then I was able to take the bits over to Alan and get him to weld them together. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. Well, obviously trying to get it straight at some point. Here's me changing a plug. I noticed that when this plug is in, then actually all I have to do is rotate the 90-degree bend out of the way. So it is actually trivial, and it works very well. So at this point, Alan has tacked the top piece on, but we haven't done the bottom one yet, because I need to get this actually fixed and located before I'm then able to actually shape the internal pipe. I don't have I think the phone ran out of battery or storage space or something when I was recording that last bit, but take it from me, I managed to drill and tap all of those holes without breaking any more drill bits, you'll be pleased to know. These are just P-clips that I'm putting on here, because they were the slimmest fixing that I could find, and so it seemed like the way to go. And trying to get this air inlet pipe on to the skin fitting was a complete pain in the proverbial, because the skin fitting is sort of behind the wall, if you see what I mean. Then very difficult to do. I ended up drilling some more holes, you'll see later. They will sort of be buried in a cabinet in a whatever. And at this point, then everything's been welded up, and so a bit of silicone round the pipe. It's only 60 degrees up there, I'm told, so should be okay without any special silicone. Put the B-clips back on, and well, I think I'm getting ready to be done. Am I? Yeah, I don't think there's much else to do. Oh, instruction booklet, right? Put the yes, I haven't done the outside. That's right. So quick, a making of a bit of pipe with the cowl for outside. Get it at the right angle, and it seems to I seem to get it right just about first time. I was pretty lucky, and so put the cowl on, and there we go. It seems to be straight. I'm happy. Put some water in the liner, put it in, turn it on, and let's open it up and see what has happened. There we go, as if by magic. So that is just ash. I'm sure clipping it on will become easier with time, but there we are. That's my incinerating toilet, and it's working. I'll spare you the well, unless there is enough comments asking to see the inside after I've actually used it, then I'll spare you seeing it after I've used it. But I'm told that it'll look pretty similar to what it does there, and I do have a plan for a composting toilet over the other side in the other corner, and mainly that'll be used for going to the toilet for number ones, because I don't see very much point in spending all the energy evaporating urine. But composting toilets are another conversation, and you'll have to come back to see what I'm doing with that. It's a self-build thing, because I think that what's on the market is both not good enough and stupidly expensive. So my apologies during that video. Then there are a few things that I managed to miss, such as the cutting and shaping of the inside flange, or whatever you want to call it, a pipe, whatever. I don't know what all those bits are called, but there's the round bit and then the two pipes that come off it. So things that this was particularly annoying. As you can see, I ended up cutting a few extra holes in there so that I could get my get the tools in to do up the Jubilee clip. That was annoying. This socket actually isn't as annoying as I thought it would be. And down in here, then I have actually put a hole in the floor, and that is because I intend that some of the air for this toilet will draw air up from the bilge, so it will be a bit like ventilating the bilge and making sure that the bilge keeps dry. So there we go. The toilet works. As you can see, you can just sort of pull it around at the moment, and that will always be the case. You will always be able to pull it out. But I will put I'll put a sort of boxy in thing, and I'll put some of the kitchen worktop on top at the same height, and so that's my plan there. There we go. Please like and subscribe. I'm up to 500 subscribers, so I've decided I'm going to get to 1,000. So I'm going to keep on saying that now. Sorry. There we go. All right. I'll see you on the next one.